Hello Aquarius, welcome to your reading for the 11th of April through to the 18th, and it is going to be general, so please take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. Let's first of all welcome in the Archangels, Ascendant Masters, Light Beings, Spirit Guides, our higher selves, and any animal, ancestral or dragon guides you feel resonant with, Aquarius. Okay, let's see what's going to jump out here. Okay, this one fell first. We'll grab that. Justice. Knight of Cups. Death or transformation, and the Lovers. Okay, Aquarius. These two for starters. I think you've been really paying attention to sort of your own alignment, your own truth, your own like values and what's right for you. Okay, and I think you've been really, I guess, nurturing those values and beliefs and those things that define you as a person and help you to feel in alignment in your center. And maybe you've just been doing that more of, just recently. You've perhaps been, aligning with yourself and adjusting things as you've needed to. Maybe you have made some adjustments in your lifestyle, in your life, or within yourself, okay? In the name of perhaps extending more appreciation for you towards yourself, more compassion towards yourself, more understanding and more self-love. Okay, but it's also about this idea of moving into your divine sovereignty as a loving being. Okay, Aquarius. And I think maybe you're starting to feel into that energy, those qualities that you have. Ten of Cups and Four of Swords. Knight of Swords and Seven of Wands. Yeah, and I think a result, like at the moment, because you've been sort of taking care of yourself, making the adjustments that you've needed to in order to support yourself. At the moment, this is Ten of Cups, so I think you're feeling really emotionally, creatively, and spiritually supported. And maybe the relationships around you are very supportive as well, or maybe you've had to cultivate some new ones in order to do that, to feel that support. The Four of Swords can mean that maybe you've been working really hard at this, and maybe you're now kind of also adding in another layer to that, which is slowing things down as well. Okay. Maybe you're taking a break from some busyness in your life at the moment. And I hope your health is okay, because sometimes the Four of Swords can mean that, you're having a bout of illness or something like that. But essentially you've slowed things down, okay, at the moment. And an underlying theme here is that I think with this newfound alignment and this sort of being true to yourself and loving yourself and, appreciating yourself, I think maybe there could be some energies that are perhaps rushing in to question that, or this is about new ideas coming in. But there's also a Seven of Wands where I feel like you are really wanting to, or the underlying theme is that you are holding your ground here, Aquarius. Perhaps this is so that you can gather more information, get the details that you need, maybe communicate with people that you need to communicate with, but also dealing with information coming in. So maybe there's some information that you are accepting and some that you are putting up and you're sort of going, well, no, I don't need that information or that data. Okay. It's not relevant for me. Okay, so you could be making some calls with regard to information, even types of communication, maybe to do with media. Maybe you are, you know, you're putting up boundaries in those areas. General direction moving forward is interesting. You have this idea of love as well coming through, and it's like this rebirth into a really quite a deep understanding of yourself, a rebirth into what it means to be compassionate to self and forgiving towards one else, to yourself, Aquarius, but also to be compassionate with those around you as well. And also this idea that, you know, spirit here, this is like a three-way thing here. You have the spirit, the higher frequencies here. You know, what that connection is to us, you know, members of humanity. And, you know, and I think for you personally, Aquarius, you're feeling this spirit connection as well. And it's feeling like a very loving energy that's coming towards you. And I think you're really grateful for that. And this is going to be transformative for you. It's like going to be like a rebirth. And it has been a slow change, which is often gradual change is a good thing. I often think that, you know, gradual change is more likely to be sustainable in the long term, whereas sometimes if we make sudden changes, sometimes things revert back to where they were because we haven't kind of fully acclimatized to the new change or fully come into an appreciation of it, an understanding of it, and all of the factors that impact. But I feel like, you know, you've been doing this here. You've been making the adjustments here in the name of increasing your self-love, self-understanding, and probably also your capacity to extend compassion, loving, and care towards others. And maybe you're fine-tuning your abilities in this area. Let's get some outcome cards. I feel like maybe, Aquarius, that perhaps you're going into this realm of, or this idea of holding space for others, where you need to be in those particular roles, say if you're a therapist or a counsellor or something like that. Counsellors and therapists need to be particularly non-judgmental. So it's very much an exercise in compassion for another human being, no matter kind of where they're at and what they've been through and what they're doing, okay? So it could be that there's a real depth pull for you to move into this realm of compassion, Aquarius. Yeah, it's one thing to be tolerant, it's another thing to be compassionate and, you know, truly empathize, okay? Right, I'm going to grab some at the top here. A Wheel of Fortune, yeah. Queen of Pentacles, nice. That's in your outcome, and you've got a couple of others here. We also have in your challenge, you have the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, these are very constructive, positive energies for you, Aquarius. So this Wheel of Fortune here, it's talking about, you know, the ups and downs of life, the cycles of life. And I feel like overall, Aquarius, you're on an up, but you are also going through some inner transformation, which you are, you know, nurturing here, Queen of Pentacles. And you're also, the outcome is that you are, it could be your spirit guides, people around you, or people that you are seeking out, and also yourself, your own higher self, all kind of working together to nurture you into this new cycle, and also an acceptance of, you know, the ups with the downs, the positives and negatives, you know, the rises and the falls, so to speak. But, you know, as looking at it as like a big picture, okay, as well. And coming into a really bigger understanding of that. And I think, you know, if you are going into therapy work and really helping people to, you know, transform, really deep transformation, then having an appreciation of the bigger picture and helping people to understand the big picture for themselves and for what's going on could also be really helpful. In your challenge, you have the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. And yeah, this is sort of to do with strategies, work, you know, the way of working, how it is that you are working. And maybe this is to do with the, you know, the mental, the intellectual kind of self-reflection that maybe you are having, that you may need to be doing. Okay. And this can be challenging to self-reflect on one's own mental processes and one's own way of thinking, you know, Aquarius. But these are in potential. So you have the ability to do that, right? This is the Eight of Pentacles. So it's like, I think this work that you're doing, if you are helping others in a really deep way, as well as yourself, right? It's like this new way of working is going to involve you, it's going to involve for you a development and cultivation of mental and intellectual skills, and probably that are constructive, because there's a beautiful purpose and, you know, a meaningful aspect to it. Okay, it's going to be deep and meaningful for you to do this work, but at the same time, it's going to require probably an amount of dedication for you. But the other thing too, Aquarius, is that you may not realize, or you might not be aware of the fact that you are good at this stuff. Okay, you are good at doing mental strategies and of doing the behind the scenes work. Okay, you might also need to be implementing some rituals to do with meditation and consciousness. You do have this meditative card at the moment here. We did say that, you know, maybe it's a bout of illness, but it could be slowing things down. But you might also be doing some meditation. And maybe this is, you know, maybe it's mindfulness and meditation you're helping, that you are kind of doing here, Aquarius. We also have the lotus here, which is really beautiful. It's a very a Buddhist kind of symbol, but probably a universal symbol for you know, love and peace and harmony as well. And yeah, let's get some spirit guidance for you. You could also be doing some study here with your Knight of Swords, or maybe you are talking to people. Maybe you are kind of, you know, being proactive, going out. Maybe you're traveling. Maybe you're meeting some new people. Maybe you're even, you know, helping people that live on the streets. You know, it could be something like that as well. Let's have a look. Homeless people is what I was trying to say. Okay, integration, participation, and we have, wow, existence. Okay, really nice cards. Integration is temperance. Let me double check. Yes, temperance. So this is for you, Aquarius, that energy of blending things in a new way, using your creativity and using, I think, the powers of your consciousness and your ability to nurture and use your mental strategies to create something new. Maybe this is a new type of therapy, a new type of mindfulness, or a healing work, some therapeutic work that you're doing. Okay. Yeah, really nice. Temperance, also about balance, moderation. Okay, we've got the yin yang here. So yeah, masculine and feminine, balancing things out. You know, also emphasized by the lovers here. This is masculine and feminine, and to do with the joining of those energies as well. You have participation here, which is the Four of Wands, Four of Fire. So a celebratory energy for you, Aquarius. Spirit saying that, you know, you will be able to bring things successfully together in a new way, in a creative way. And, you know, that you have the self-discipline, the know-how, and you know what structures you need to create in order to create a peace, harmony, and balance, okay, for yourself, and maybe you're helping others with that as well. Existence we have here is the Magician, and yeah, this is also a person sitting there meditating on a beautiful leaf, looking at the galactic scenery. So, you know, maybe this is to do with, you know, maybe you're helping people with their meditation, to do with, I guess, cultivating first contact experiences with higher consciousness beings, okay? There could be anything here, but this is, you know, using all of your inner resources, maximizing the resources that you have around you as well. And, you know, these 4 cards here are really harmonious. Can you see how, you know, this is really nice? You're bringing together, you know, this is like consciousness, inner resources, and you've got, you know, the joy or the happiness, the higher frequency, okay, vibration that's going to be coming in as a result of you participating and bringing some energies together. Yeah, really helping yourself and others. And I feel like, yeah, you've really been working hard on that. 9 of Swords. Yeah, and this could well be the energy that you are helping to shift here, Aquarius. I feel like maybe you are a bit of an energy transmuter. So maybe you are you can see the big picture, but you're also in this business of transformation and rebirth. And I think these are the types of energies that you are here to help transmute and change, okay? This could be stuff within yourself that you've already transmuted. Maybe you're helping other people with this who are in this at the moment. And this is probably the opposite of mindfulness. So, you know, this is when the mind is very scattered. You know, there can be confusion, there's upset, there's also emotions that go on with this as well. So I think Spirit's popped that in there to sort of say that, you know, Aquarius, you've actually got this. You can handle those frequencies in terms of really helping people to know what they need to do to process those energies and to shift and transmute them. And this is just beautiful. We have the 2 of Pentacles here, which is also an energy of integration, interestingly enough, a bit like Temperance here. It looks like juggling. And I feel like this could be for you, Aquarius, it's this idea of self and other. So I think maybe you are looking to like nurture yourself, but maybe nurture others as well. But this is about your flexibility, your adaptability, you know, creative adaptability. You know, it's like, yeah. And I think this flexibility is really what's going to help you, you know, to decide to move into, or if you are in that, you know, you're already working in it, it's going to help you with maintaining the, I guess, the commitment in the long term. Yeah. So that is 2 of Pentacles there. Also meditative energy, very similar to the 4 of Swords here. And also you have your existence. So if you are doing meditation, Aquarius, you know, these 3 decks are kind of on board with you in that area. Okay, let's have a look at the Dragon deck here. We have the 3 of Swords. Yeah, this is the healing card. So you could well be, maybe you are a healer. Maybe you're an energy healer. Maybe you are, you know, a healer helping people with their consciousness, meditation, mindfulness, mind-body breath work, any type of healing. I mean, you could even be like a garden therapist or an art therapist or anything. But maybe you're doing something new in that area. Maybe it's like crystals and massage or something, you know. But I feel like there's something really loving and in alignment and transformative that you're doing for yourself, but I think you're ultimately going to be helping others with that as well. 3 of Swords kind of looks a bit negative, but it's really just that energy of when the heart and the mind are not sort of in alignment, or there's just discrepancy there, okay? But I feel that you're kind of healing that yourself, for yourself, Aquarius, and that you could well be helping others to heal that as well. And this came out in the pre-shuffle, which is the 5 of Swords, and that is comparison, or the 5 of Air. And it can talk about that sometimes there are energies around that consider themselves superior to others. So they're comparing themselves to others, okay? So, and that's also to do with judgment, okay? So judgment and comparison kind of go hand in hand. And I feel maybe Spirit's put this in here for you, Aquarius, to remind you to not compare yourself to others, particularly in this new way of working that I think you're going to be bringing in, is to really not worry about what other people are doing, and if they are comparing themselves to you or you're comparing yourselves to them. Just to be aware that there is an aspect of judgment for that, and to not fall into this trap of, you know, worrying about how you stack up with others and sort of falling into some stress about it. You know, like to not kind of be, oh, there's a little gap in the deck, so I've been guided to just pull this apart. Yeah, and this could be something about clinging to the past. So maybe it's a case of Spirit saying, don't compare what you're doing now to what you were doing in the past. So if you are then making judgments on what you're doing now and talking yourself out of it, or doubting you because it doesn't stack up to what you used to do in a certain way, then it's not going to be helpful for you moving forward. Okay. Yeah, and that's also a five of water. Okay, so a challenge. So there could be some challenges coming up for you. But yeah, and Spirit's saying, you know, possibilities. We have a lot more possibilities frequentially open to us now. Because we are going through an expansion of consciousness, as you well know, Aquarius, we have a lot more possibilities and options open to us in terms of the ways that we are going to be working. Okay, and we may need to be keeping on our guard here in terms of if we want to be working in a new way, doing something creative or alchemical, doing something in a creative new way, which I think you are, Aquarius, then we do need to kind of be on our guard. And as we said, one of the underlying themes is that this idea of creating boundaries. So it may be that you need to possibly, Aquarius, create some energetic boundaries, do some daily rituals, you know, call in the white light, call in your guides, and really ask for support in your new venture, so that, you know, because they will come in. This is almost like the higher consciousness energies coming in, okay, calling them in, right? These could be swords coming to wands coming towards you, but it depends on the perception. These may not be a threat. This might be supportive wands coming towards you. It's not like you're trying to tell them to go away. You're actually saying, yes, I'm calling in my guides now, calling in my team, and, you know, just really doing the pep talk, or listening to them give you the pep talk there, Aquarius, about, you know, we're here to raise frequency. There's a lot of low frequency going on, and we're here, if you feel that strongly that you're here on a healing mission, on to do something in a new way that's really inspiring for you, then definitely do it, because this is why we are here. You know, this is why we exist, why we've incarnated here on this planet, or why you in particular, Aquarius, have incarnated here at this time. More than likely is to do that which you feel strongly called to do. Okay, so yeah, I think we might wrap it up there. Yeah, hope that's been helpful. I look forward to your next reading. In the meantime, have a great day, a fantastic week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.